Hello zusammen, I'm your Vlog Dave, and as you might be able to tell and see and whatnot, it's quite warm in here. That's why I'm sweating quite a lot, and that's why the window is open as well. So if you might hear some distant sounds and noises that might not come from me speaking, that is why. So today I want to talk about something that I find really funny and hilarious, and that I've also experienced myself, not necessarily with these songs that I'm gonna talk about in this video, but with some others. So today we're gonna talk about songs that Germans tend to mishear. Some, well, lyrics that they tend to get wrong pretty much, and those are English songs in this case. Let's see what these misconceptions, these misunderstandings are all about. The first song I want to talk about is Hope of Deliverance by Paul McCartney, which was released on the album Off the Ground in 1993, long time ago, but still a very, very cool song if you ask me. As you might know, Paul sings Hope of Deliverance. That is what he sings there. But I know of some Germans, also from some German radio stations, that have actually tackled this topic as well. And they basically have or had a call-in show where Germans could actually call them and say, okay, there is this song which I tend to get wrong, and I'm aware that it's wrong, but I still hear it every single time I'm listening to the song. Right? And this was one of those cases. And to some degree I can actually get and relate to that, why they might hear that wrong. But then again, you know. So instead of Hope of Deliverance, which he sings in the chorus, some Germans might hear something like Hau auf die Leberwurst, which would literally translate to something like beat the liver sausage. It's die Leberwurst, singular, die Leberwürste, plural. And to my surprise, because I just looked up the English term for die Leberwurst, which is also liver sausage, you can very well use that, it seems. There's also the term Liverwurst. Wurst. Worst. I don't know what that's pronounced like in American English, but it seems to be possible and pretty much common as well, I guess. Interesting. Because in this case, this would stem from the German term die Wurst, singular, die Würste, plural, the sausage. A German approves. When you really think about it, the syllables pretty much line up, like from the amount of them, that would fit. And then again, to be quite fair, not taking away anything from Paul, of course, but he has a tendency to mumble a few syllables there. So the next one is the oldest song on this list. It's California Dreaming by the Mamas and the Papas. And they released this song in 1966. Honestly, I think this one is an evergreen. I think pretty much every single person has listened to that song at least once and knows the melody. So this one needs to be on this list. But instead of all the leaves are brown, some Germans might mishear this line with something like Anneliese Braun. Now you might be wondering, okay, what does that mean? Anneliese is a German first name for a woman. Or, well, honestly, it was. Today, you wouldn't call or name your girl, your daughter, Anneliese. Not really. It's actually similar to male names like Heinz, Günther, Dieter, and the like, which you might know of, but these days Germans wouldn't actually use those names anymore. They are outdated and pretty old. That's the truth. But interestingly enough, the surname which is mentioned in this misheard line, Braun, is the exact German equivalent to the English brown. So that really fits at least. The next misheard lyric, is there even a singular form for that? The next misheard lyrics line I want to tackle is, well, was written, composed, whatever, pretty much both in a way, by a German music project in 1989, because back then the music project Snap released the song The Power, also known as I've Got the Power. The single The Power was released on their first album, World Power. A very non-ambitious album title, if you ask me. I guess you all know the tune. I think it was a pretty much worldwide hit, if I'm not mistaken. And when the chorus actually enters, you can hear someone sing, "I've got the power!" But Germans might actually hear something like, "I got the Bauer!" Once again, Germans might hear a German name in this phrase, Agathe Bauer. And interestingly enough, once again, it would be an older, sort of outdated German name for a woman. The first name would be Agathe, which I guess is somewhat of like the German equivalent to Agatha in English. Like, maybe, I guess they are related, I think. You don't really come across that one too often anymore. And the surname, the family name in this case, is Bauer. It's der Bauer, singular, die Bauern, plural, the farmer. Aside from a tonal similarity here, I still wonder why someone would actually think this song would be about someone that's named Agathe Bauer. And why would they basically shout that in the first place? And now let's go a bit dark. A bit mysterious, a bit obscure even, with a deep shade of blue. You might have been able to tell which song I'm gonna talk about now. It's "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore," which is a pretty cool pop tune, if you ask me. A pretty old one, but still pretty cool, which was not written, but pretty much made popular by the Walker Brothers in 1966. And by the way, rest in peace Scott Walker, who I really admired for his unique and powerful voice, not only in the Walker Brothers, but also later in his career when his music got really strange and really avant-garde. If you don't know what I mean, and you're curious to find out, and if you only know the song "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore," which is cool, but it's way different from his later career, listen to the album The Drift by Scott Walker, released in 2006, and you'll know what I mean. You have been warned. Anyway, the song "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore" was released on the album "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore" in 1966, and the chorus features a line that goes, "The sun ain't gonna shine anymore." Well, that's actually not the line I want to talk about, but I just wanted to sing that once more. There's a line in the verse that goes, "A deep shade of blue." Germans could get that quite wrong. But to be honest, this is one of my favorite misheard lines in this list. Because Germans might hear something like, "Ein Dickschädelblues." What is a Dickschädelblues? And no, not the kind of dick. No, actually the German term der Dickschädel singular, die Dickschädel plural is not only a compound word, which is really common and really something normal in the German language, as you might know already, but it also sounds funny, sounds interesting, and it's a pretty cool combination of terms, I think. But what does it mean? When someone is really thick-headed, ein dicker Schädel, and you're really stubborn and you really insist on your opinion and what you want to do, you might be called a Dickschädel, a thick skull. Another really common and related German term would be der Dickkopf, which basically means the same. So since Germans might mishear this line as ein Dickschädelblues, this song could be a hymn, an ode to all the Dickschädels out there. So last but not least, I want to talk about someone who is really unusual, or maybe her lyrics are, her album was in 1983, when she released just that, the album She Is So Unusual. I'm talking about Cyndi Lauper, aka someone who sounds like Madonna, at least to my ears. You can punch me all night long, but I still think it sounds like Madonna a whole lot. I'm talking about Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. Because they can, I guess. However, sometimes you might just want to sleep, and for some reason you have the phone right next to you on the Nachtschränkchen, that is what we would call that in German, das Nachtschränkchen. It just rings right in the middle of the night and you don't see that coming, you wake up all of a sudden and then you go, da vorne links. Germans might mishear the line, the phone rings, and so on. Germans might mishear the first part, the first 3 terms in this phrase as da vorne links. Da vorne links, which basically means turn left right up there. Please turn left at the next crossing. Arguably in a very shortened way though. Without please, bitte, that would be in German, and the like. Just da vorne links. And honestly, this is one of those misheard lines that I can relate to personally as well, because I also misheard this one a lot of times. And I still do. Whenever this song pops up somewhere and really is played in a video game, for instance, I think it was actually featured in GTA Vice City, wasn't it? I think so. I just keep mishearing it, although I know what the correct English terms are. So I wonder if you have German songs, for instance, that you keep mishearing although you know the correct German words and phrases. If so, tell me in the comments, because that would be really interesting as well. And I hope you enjoyed this video, because I certainly did, and there are many more songs like these that I could tackle in upcoming videos, and maybe I will do that at some point. We'll see about that. Thanks for watching for now. I'm your Vlog Dave. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.